So we're here with Truly Truly and myconfidencescore.com. I was checking out your website. What is this all about, and how do you help entrepreneurs?
So My Confidence Score is where business owners and entrepreneurs go to measure their confidence. One of the things that I realized after writing 6 books about confidence is most of us are in one of 3 places. We're either very aware that we need to work on our confidence, we're not aware that we need to work on our confidence, and then we're somewhat aware, slightly conscious to the fact that we need to work on our confidence. And so understanding that with having asked people random questions, my crafty social experiments, I found that most of us have been led to believe the confidence that we have is sufficient. But in my studies and research, it's like there needs to be an active application for confidence. And so the only way to help people see that is through a survey. That way, it's not about me, it's about them. They put the information in. It's not a conversation between me and them. I'm not coming off salesy. I'm not, making up random ideas and scenarios. It's 25 questions, 2 minutes, 3 seconds to complete it, right? All based on my 5 layers of self-confidence framework.
That's really interesting. So where does this come from? Like, how did you get into My Confidence Score, and then what's the impetus of all this?
Yeah, man. So again, to make it make sense, the biggest component of this is the 5-layer framework. Now, the 5-layer framework comprises of 5 layers of my life that I've recognized confidence has been able to help me by simply being intentional. Now, going through the rough parts about it, I'm not knowing this, but again, when I'm writing these books, like my first book, 6-Figure Confidence, in writing this book and providing factual evidence and studies and statistics, I'm like, wait a minute. The underbelly of this is self-belief, overcoming self-doubt, being able to master anxiety. And so a lot of that also tends towards procrastination. So with procrastination, watch this. What I'm trying to illustrate is the active component to better oneself versus what we're born with that we believe is sufficient. So
Interesting. Okay, so you were writing these books, you identified that, hey, there's a need in the market.
Yes.
And so now you can attract folks to do the questionnaire that helps them identify which one of those 3 buckets they fall into. And then I assume you kind of help them with the building of the confidence if they're somewhat lacking?
Yes. So what makes this a fun experience for me is I didn't know people needed the survey at first. So to make it make sense, I first wrote the first edition of my book 2022. So between then and now, I've been conversing with people face to face on this concept of confidence. But what I recognized was people weren't immediately interested unless they like me as a person, right? And so for those that need it, they don't know that they need it. That's one of those 3 buckets. Those that are really aware are only aware because I'm communicating to them face to face. So what happened was this. I was on Threads, and a mentor of mine, Jordan Gill, she posted that exact thread about the 3 buckets. And it dawned on me, okay, side note, because I'm going all over the place. Last year I interviewed Daniel Priestley, all right, to tie this all in. Now, I'm already familiar with Daniel Priestley, but at the time, I was more bought in on his story as an entrepreneur business owner versus a lot of his tools. So when I saw her thread, it made me think, if people aren't aware and they don't know they need confidence, it can't be me. It has to be a survey. So I use Score app as my front-facing lead generator survey to help decode people's hesitation to admit they need to better their confidence.
Right, because then when they're talking to just their computer or they're self-identifying, they're in their safe zone, right? They can say, they can speak openly, but then on the tail end, you get those results, and then I imagine you have some kind of a scoring method where you put them into these buckets.
That's where I'm going.
And then you set up.
So,
and then what happens? Like, what happens next after? Let's say somebody falls into the somewhat confidence.
I'm gonna do you an example. So, as a matter of fact, a gentleman yesterday took the survey, and he had like a 48%. But his let me get to you, and we'll leave his name up.
I'm kind of excited on taking the survey too now. Like, I wonder if how would I score on this Because if I'm coming in with knowing that this is a quiz that's going to test my confidence, then maybe I know the right answers, and then I'm like 100% confident. I don't know. But so how do you eliminate the bias there and tell people, no, like answer honestly? What kind of questions are these?
Right. So okay, this goes back to the foundation, which is the 5-layer framework. Now, to make this make sense, I have a background in fashion design. I've had my clothing business since 2012. A decade or more
Wow, cool.
change. I've also started other businesses 10 years ago. So 2 of my businesses are celebrating 10 years in business.
Nice.
But in that, right, I'm going through all these different experiences. In my past, I've been a procrastinator, a master procrastinator, if you will.
Okay, yeah.
But I recently got a VA a little after COVID, right when Instagram did their bonus program. So I recognized I need with my consistency. So we have connotation, what we call procrastination, consistency. Okay. When I would apply for jobs, I'm on paper, I'm good at machine operation, forklift, all of that. But on the other side, I'm a creative. I have different other skill sets. I also have a degree in architecture. So that's competency, right? So we have competency, connotation, and consistency. The last 2 are my favorite, and that is cash flow and clothing. Today,
I like that.
People call me to better their finances. Not because I'm asking them to, but because they see something in me that I didn't recognize, right? So knowing that I invest more than my friends do, and I made some money in crypto, you feel me? There's that cash flow piece where I have an understanding of how I can better my money management skills. And then lastly, clothing. Based on my background in clothing, I've seen so many unique scenarios where by tweaking your confidence, your clothes can work in your favor. So to put a bow on this gentleman or even someone that's the test could get a 48% or 80%. They may get 20% in clothing, right? I do a weekly training, confidence audit with those that those that fill out the survey. They're led to book a call. If they don't book the call, I call them anyway. And then I invite them to the confidence audit. And the confidence audit is a 1.5 hour discussion where, as I call it, we peel back the layers, right?
Okay.
And
wow. Okay. This is like a therapy session almost.
Yeah. So the phrase that pays is helping people understand how confident they are not.
Exactly.
And leverage their pain points to enhance.
Because that alone is like you not showing up to the 1.5 hour seminar or whatever shows your lack of confidence, right?
Exactly.
So it's like they will self-identify and then self-judge themselves being, maybe I'm not that confident because I can't go speak to this person in person. And then it's like, well, no, I need to build on that confidence. So let me go join the survey or seminar, and then they're chatting with you, and then they're kind of convincing themselves basically. So that's pretty clever. I like that.
Yep. Here's a curveball. Curveball is some will start the survey but not finish it.
Exactly. Then they get an email, right? You tell them like, hey, you only finished 20%. Are you telling me that you're only 20% confident in your ability to finish the survey? You can apply it to anybody,
Yep.
I don't know. I can come up with so many examples. You didn't finish that project, so your confidence is low, right? You're not confident that you can finish your project. So then come join my survey. I can help you with that. So that's pretty cool.
Yep. So I'll give you a bonus because are you a business owner?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So even my book, 6-Figure Confidence for the Everyday Employee, Mindset and Actionable Steps, my whole thing was, that's my space. Having a business and then getting a job to fund the business, right? Those are my two realms. But when it comes to my confidence score, what's your confidence score, all of that, I have a pattern of picking the right names for the right games.
Okay.
And
like business names and branding.
Yeah,
right?
And just phrases, little things that
taglines.
People
Yep.
Exactly, taglines. And so I had to sit and think, and this is for anyone that wants, because here's what's fun. Not only do people take the survey, but I'm also the same person that say, hey, you need to copy this because it works. So Daniel Priestley, when I interviewed him about confidence, it was such a dope experience for me because when I'm dressed up outside, like I'm looking like it, right? I'm fly, I'm in my vibe. So to have him ask questions about the clothing aspect was such a moment for me, knowing that he said, hey, most people love taking quizzes and surveys. So if we love doing those things, we let our guard down and just dive in because we have that confidence that we can dominate this thing and it's going to be all about us and it's so organic. And then I flip it based on his software, right? And say, okay, nah, based on how you answer these questions, I got you. Because see, what I also did was I encourage people to do what I'm doing with the survey, because it will allow them to dominate in their areas to solve those hard questions, right? And then with my confidence, you measure your coffee, you measure your carbs, you measure your liquor, right? You measure your protein. You measure
Wait, this is getting deeper.
Right.
This is not just confidence. This is like lifestyle.
You can't grow what you don't measure. So what I love about this, here we go. Pre the survey, I had social experiments like asking someone, in the perfect world, how much money do you want to make per month, right? Now, I did enough of these to understand most of us subconsciously answer with whatever we make in a year. So after so many experiments, I'm asking them, hey, in the perfect world, when they was like, you know what, 50,000. I say, okay, let me ask you, how much money did you make last year? Was it about 50,000? Yeah. I said, so why does it take someone in orange hair, right, to convince you to ask these questions? And then you think about it, like, you know what, I really want to make 50,000 in a month. I never thought about that. And so seeing these things, it fires me up to have questions that frame different ways of thought, so that when I do have the phone conversation with them, right? It's because last Thursday, I did a confidence audit with a client, and this was her first time seeing what I was actually up to. When I upload it and it's like 20% on clothing, it's like, that's like an F, you're right?
Okay.
Because of the guard letting down, and they have because she's one of the people that actually booked a call, a transformation talk time, right after the survey. So I was like, okay, she's interested. This is a hot lead. Let me lean in and call her back. So it's a very fun experience for both me and the person on the other end, because we don't know what we don't know. And I'm I'm complex in my simplicity. Here's what I mean. If someone was to, let's say, for example, what's the area that you struggle with in life?
An area I struggle with in life? Oh gosh, you put me on the spot. Okay, increasing leads, like lead generation is like a typical one in our community.
Okay, so here's where my science comes to play. With lead generation, there are 3 to 5 shifts that needs to happen. I'm a fan of telling people we're all 3 to 5 shifts from our next breakthrough. Now, granted, I do have 5 as a framework, but this is just me knowing what I know.
3 to 5 shifts, as in like changes that we have to make?
Pivots.
Okay.
I don't use the word change, because you change your oil, you change clothes, you change cars, right? When it comes to life, these are moments. So a pivot is more indicative of what we're looking for, right?
Okay.
And I'm a stickler for words, so bear with me. But this concept of 3 to 5 pivots or shifts, someone struggling with lead generation. The first thing I'm curious of when it comes to lead generation is consistency, right? How often are they making those offers, having those calls, getting involved in the outreach? But then second, I'm really curious about their belief in their identity, right? I was on a call with a lady Thursday, and we were discussing, she said, man, I really want to live out loud. I'm in the house all the time, all these things. Well, I decoded her belief in her current reality. I said, hey, even if you were a multi-millionaire like you want to be, you're going to spend even more time in the house, even more downtime with self, right? So I crafted a routine for her where I challenged her to dress up 9 times a week and sit in the house.
Interesting.
Because in doing that, she'll be more motivated to be active because she's in her vibe with her favorite outfit. So for the person that's struggling with, and this is, I get very deep in this, because when you say lead gen,
this is psychology,
right? Like for example, because of my business owner, right? If this person has a virtual assistant like I do, then they're gonna say, okay, how many offers or attempts is your assistant doing, right? What kind of scripts are you feeding your assistant? Are the scripts something you researched, or is it you taking real live data and then plugging it in? How many referrals do you have, right? What's your favorite number? Your favorite numbers, what's your favorite number? I'm asking.
7.
7, boom, perfect. So now check this. I have a double-digit, way to go, and I have a single-digit way to go. So let's say 7 is this person's favorite number when it comes to lead generation. if you're making 7 attempts to get leads every day, right? What are the percentages? Because a lot of times,
So
huh,
yeah, we'd say like customer acquisition cost, right? So like if you put out 7 different ads or $7 worth of ad spend, whatever it is, we can play with that number, and then how many people actually sign up to become a warm lead, like you were saying, and then
yep,
how many of those warm leads you convert into paying customers, and then you kind of come up with a percentage of that. So you could say 50%. Let's say that's really high. Typically, if you're doing mass numbers, like 2% is probably good.
yeah. So my framework is I have 2 pillars or 2 different ways to go about it. One is time length, and then one is increments of time. Like with 7, I would then say, how would it feel to be 7% better with getting leads?
Always better, yes.
Right? And then I would say, okay, which is better? But what is a more ideal expectation of this 7% increase in leads buying in or getting more leads in the pipeline, whatever they're struggling with? Would you say you're looking more towards 7 years, 7 months, 7 weeks, 7 days,
And then
7
always
hours,
shorter is better.
7
Yeah, I
minutes?
want more,
And then here's the
quicker.
thing, I can gauge how serious they are based on that increment that they pick. And then, if I feel like these things are going in a favorable direction for the transformation, I'll say, man, how about this? What if we could get 7% better in 7 days? Right?
You're like, yeah,
If they agree to
sounds
that,
good.
then it lets me know what they're willing to invest. Because again, 7% in 7 days. Now, in my past, or also in my present, I day trade from time to time. Now, one of the things that I love about this is, again, you can't grow what you don't measure, right? Side note, me as a person, I have the Whoop. I track my weight. I track my fasting time zones, right? I track my REM sleep. I'm really all the way into
You're all
measuring
about the
things.
data, the metrics.
Yes. So when it comes to trading and your win rate or your loss rate, I'm now compelled to ask business owners, how many leads are you getting? How many leads are buying in based on the amount of leads that you reach out to? Or let's say if you have, I don't know, with $1,000 in ads, what's the percentage of the ROI on that, or even breaking even?
Right.
My thing is, because I've been seriously coaching for about 3 years, but I've been coaching and consulting for more than 10 years.
Okay.
But with that, I have a very poker style approach. I only want to address the cards on the table. All the wishing I could, I want to do's, I'm looking forward to, in 5 years I'll do this. If I get money, I'll be this kind of person. I can't really operate with those concepts. I can only deal with the cards on the table. So with the cards on the table, how successful have you been with lead gen? How successful have you been making commitments to yourself? How successful have you been having the right mindset going into it? On the call, I had a young lady forgive herself live. Hey, I apologize for breaking my commitment. It's okay. Guess what? And she's like, yeah, I say, guess what? Guess what? I can make another commitment. And then I go right into it.
I guess so.
Yeah, so understanding that it's more than meets the eye with confidence, right? No one's going to admit whether, but the person that suffers with lead gen, he's not going to say, I wake up at noon every day and I twiddle my thumbs and then I'm really serious, but then I'm really not. And I'm suffering with, being happy and it's like all these different things outside of the answering question. And so I dig into that because I understand, okay, we're human. One would say there's an answer for every problem, but most of us don't feel that way. Problems have solutions. Facts are things that we accept. So with pain points in business, if it's a pain point, we can either numb the pain with inactivity, right? Or we can address the pain with action.
Nice. Good deal. And so then you basically coach folks. How much do you charge? And then how many customers do you have so far?
Right. So the past 7 days have been explosive for me mentally. So based on my fashion design experience, I wrote a book called what is the book? Ways to Lose Money with the Clothing Brand. And so I break down one of
to lose women. Okay.
Because again, in my field when I first started, even to now, most of us pride ourselves on helping people make more money. Well, my experience in my business, it really showed me a lot of the hurdles and mistakes that I made. And that's my selling point. Let me show you how to lose the money. And then subconsciously, you can just flip it and you can make
I
it.
think that's pretty clever. Exactly.
Yeah,
Because then you're like, wait, am I one of those 18 that's losing women? Like, am I dressing that way?
Now,
And then so you want to read the book. It's a very nice template.
Here's why I bring
Clever.
it up. I bring it up because in the book, I talk about losing sleep over changing prices. So to your point about what I offer and then my price points, I just went through that for the past 7 days. Not that I wasn't in control, but I needed to sift out how I'm choosing to communicate. So to make it make sense, after every call, I run it through chat to rate my calls to make sure I'm priced properly in the marketplace. So going on the back of my crypto investing experience, I try to deal with investments either for me or for my clients on a 10 increment system, right? So Confidence Challenge Live, people can join for $10 a seat, all right? The Confidence Vault, which is group coaching, once a week, they can join for $100 a month. Right now I have 3 people in that program. Confidence Vault, I have all of my courses, content, curriculums, right? 9 trainings, 6 videos, 3 worksheets. I'm really number crazy. You feel me? But also when we go live on these calls, I have those inside as well, inside the virtual library. Then we have the Success Circle mentorship, where it's 10 people, 1,000 a month, right? Where these calls are more intimate because it's not 100, it's 10. And it's literally weekly hot seats where we sift through those hurdles and heavy areas. Because again, I pride myself on being blunt.
That's pretty cool. I like what you're doing there. Yeah, that's really special. Where do you host your community?
Okay, yeah, it gets better. So we have those, and then the last leg is going to be the More Confidence, More Money Mastermind, which is about $3,000 a month. And then those are just 3 people. Those are straight up one-to-ones, full access. So the way I'm crafting things is I have Go High Level on the back end.
Nice, yeah. I actually work on High Level, and I have an affiliate community.
Okay. And then I use WAP as a payment processor.
Wow.
AnyChat for socials, and then I have my virtual assistant in the Philippines that runs everything for me. I also have LinkedIn and TikTok and those social, YouTube. I have 2 YouTubes. One is specifically for shorts. That's the moneymaker. And then one long form, which carries my name, that has all of some of my previous coaching calls from last year and years prior. Then I also have a podcast myself where I have, I think, 200 something odd episodes dating back all the way to COVID. And then I heard Gary Vee say on an interview, he was talking about Anchor, and he was saying you can make money with it. Now me, in my crazy mind, I got with Anchor, I made about $57 and it froze on me, but I still continued through COVID with another podcast, which is Wealth Dictionary. Now, Wealth Dictionary is something that I love because, again, my mom's an educator. When I would go to college, she would put dictionaries and thesauruses in my book bag, right? My business partner for another business, when he picked me up, because he's from California, I get in the car, he has 50,000 phrases for ... So I'm riding to my office like, man, what are we listening to? But then it dawned on me. Business and finance terms, I'll define those. And that's the podcast. So I got like 200-300 some words in that podcast. Now watch this, watch the connection.
Yeah.
When I commit to the My Confidence Score podcast, at the time it was the Truly Show, and a mentor of mine challenged me to focus on one thing. Now, when I rename it My Confidence Score to be more in sync with this new survey, because I did the survey was constructed just this July.
Okay.
So it's very much fresh to the marketplace, but I now can bridge the gap because if people lack belief, if people lack confidence in their business, if most of my prospects are going from having the job to starting a business, they have to leverage that job confidence, and they're going to need business and finance terms to redefine this new identity. So I'm really big on mirroring, congruency, again, cards on the table, active outcomes.
That's pretty cool, man. I like it. That's nice. So you're on WAP, you use High Level. You use you have a podcast, you got YouTube. So I see your website, myconfidencescore.com. We'll put all of that in the description as well. Make sure people can find you there. I'd love to have you in our school community as well. We have 77 members there, all entrepreneurs looking to start their digital marketing agencies and all sorts of businesses. And I think you could really promote your services there as well. Would you like to join?
I would like to join. I'd like to join. For me, again, like, to make it make sense, having done my confidence score down the line after offering so much value, the thing I love about the survey is it's free, right?
Exactly.
And a lot of times, most of us just need the awareness. And if we really want the extra help, then, they can lock in when I reach out, or they can reach out themselves via booking a call. Now, I am currently in other school communities, and I'm really falling in love with how I can help people in a way where it's optional.
Exactly.
Most of us kind of turn away help when it's right in our face because our guard is up.
Right.
And everybody's being sold to some capacity.
Sure. That's the whole point, right? Like, at some point, it's like, okay, well, we all need to benefit somehow, whether it's a feeling, right? Because a lot of the work that I do in the community is more about helping people. Believe it or not, it gives you like a sense of joy when other folks are successful. And so I don't charge anybody for joining the community. I don't charge them for consulting. And, I share a lot of the capabilities that I do build on high level with them so they can import those snapshots with like automations and AI. The cost part is to increase value of the commitment that I do provide, right? Because if you don't charge anything and it just kind of becomes free, then people treat it as free and it just becomes cheap in the end. So what I say is use my affiliate link for high level. And then if you do, then I'll give you all of these things, right? So that's the trade-off.
Yeah. For me, like I said, doing my research, doing my studies, and really solving the tough questions. What I recognized was essentially people are paying me to tell them what they already know. So now,
that's what a therapist is too. You're highlighting the problem, and you need somebody else to come in and point at it and say, "This is the problem."
So,
and then they'll start realizing and say, "Okay, well, what's the solution?" And then you provide the solution.
Yep. And so I mean, all of that is very much what I'm hinting towards, and simply, it's accountability, right? Like, I have friends in the music business. I have friends that are in the beauty space, and when they want to be better in their industries, a lot of the time, because again, they already know I'm very confidence focused, and I'm asking the questions. And what I had to also realize, even with my coaching calls that I provide to my clients, like, these questions help people heal and get over hurdles by simply poking a stick at some of these soft points that they don't want to address, right? So it's the accountability piece in the school community that says, hey man, I'll give you the score. If you can figure out the riddle, do your thing. But if you lack the accountability, I'm very much holding people accountable.
Exactly. If you need help by somebody who's already done this, who's been doing it for other folks, I'm available, right? And you just kind of put yourself in their available block, and then they can contact you, and then you kind of figure out costs, and they can jump in all of your programs and so on. I think the goal is really getting your name out there more, right? And it's the marketing. Not that you're pushing it on them, you're saying this is available. Because if they don't know, right, a business without a sign is a sign of no business, right? That's what they say. So you have to keep putting yourself out there saying, I'm offering this, I'm offering this, I'm offering this. And then eventually they'll come to a point in their life where they're like, you know what, I'll give that score a try, right? And people love surveys, by the way, especially if you tie this into some kind of like a character that they turn into. Like, hey, if you're a 20%, you're like a gremlin. If you're a 40%, you're like this. Or it could be part of their favorite characters, right? Like Harry Potter character or whatever it is. And you do shorter versions of it. So instead of 25 questions, maybe you start with 3. And then the 3 qualify them to get like another 5 questions. And they have to do the 3 to unlock the 5. And so it's like a gamification. And then it's like you show their progress bar as well. Like, hey, we sent you an email. Did you know you only completed 30% of the survey? You fall in this category with all these other people that are in the red. You don't want to be in the red, do you? You want more experience points. And so come back, do 3 more questions. And that moves you up, And ultimately it kind of increases and makes it exciting for them to do all 25.
Yeah, man, I love that. And I'm going to consider that because I played video games in my past, and I really enjoyed it. But to now see the success that school has, even for me in these communities, again, because I found a way to overcome or override my deficiency being consistent, I'm now more consistent in school groups, and I'm seeing that the gamification kind of, pique my interest when I go up from a 4 to a 5, and I have
There you
331
go,
points
levels.
to
Exactly.
work out my interactions so it's very much something that I need to look into. Are
Yeah,
you
I
into video
think
games
I
as
think
well?
you'd be a really good hit there, because what I'm trying to do is also set up webinars. So imagine like a Zoom calendar where you own your own webinar, right? And so let's say Saturday mornings or Monday afternoons, whatever time works for you, you have like this weekly webinar where people can jump in, and we'll call that like the confidence booster or the confidence, boot camp. And then they jump in, you talk to them, whatever you want to talk to them about, and then you encourage them to take this survey, and maybe they can take it during that webinar, and then you're generating lead, and at the same time you're getting your name out there. And as more people jump into school community, they're looking at this calendar going, oh, what does Sonic Combinator offer? And like one thing is this boot camp, right? And we have other folks that are like really good at website development, other folks that are at AI agents or marketers or sales or finance. Real estate is a new one. And so you could be like the confidence booster person, and kind of lead that
Exactly.
community.
Yep, and to build on that, we have to, I took a psychology class in college, and it really opened my mind up to a lot of these loopholes or gray areas when it comes to interacting with humans. Matter of fact, I believe even from selling clothes, my biggest vantage point is FOMO. So like,
Yes.
I learned me as a person, when someone expresses to me the cost of inaction, that motivates me more than any other selling point or a thing to consider. So again, with mirroring or congruency, if it's something that caught my eye, then the first level of awareness is recognizing I should expect my clients to have that same deficiency or vantage point if I'm going through the same thing. So I lean in with that to say, you know what, how about this? How about you just use all my free stuff, save your money, don't spend $100 with me, spend it on food.
Exactly.
And then tell me and we'll do a follow-up call. As a matter of fact, I did this with a client, you feel me? And we have a follow-up call on the 8th of December, you feel me?
Okay.
Did it with another client, got a follow-up call in January. Because listen, hey, you don't need me. I can help you get to this place, but based on your feedback and my questions, you don't need me. So let's do a follow-up call, and I'm curious to see how life is without working with me. And I
That
look
is
forward
a
to
lot
talking
of
to you.
fun.
You feel me?
Yes.
And
I'm with you on that one.
I lean in with that. Listen, don't spend your money with me. I don't
Yeah.
need it. I got a job. I'm good. Save
Yeah.
your money, because another thing too, the cash flow piece. I'm really passionate.
That's the benefit of not doing it for money, because when that's not your motivator, you're just there to help them. And then you're just satisfying your own curiosity.
Yeah.
You're
yeah.
saying, well, I really want to follow your journey because you're onto something. And you give them like 2-3 ideas to go carry out, and then have a follow-up, like you said. So when they come back, you ask them, did you do your homework? And if they didn't do their homework, well, then they're going to drop on their confidence score as well. And then it shows you their lack of motivation, right? And you say, okay, well, I'm only going to help you as much as you can help yourself. And I have nothing to gain or nothing to lose, because I'm not charging you for this.
Yep. So I'm gonna throw you a curveball. And we hear entertainers and people that really make a lot of money start talking and being real spacey. Like, bruh, that don't make any sense. But
Yeah,
for
you're all
me,
over the place.
but for me, to be honest, it's an investment in themselves, and it's biblical. Your money follows where your heart is, right? Where your intentions are is where your money is. And so, like, for me, I benefit by monetary compensation, but like, you still need the transformation, and you need to make a commitment that motivates you to be more about taking action. It's funny, one of the bigger revelations, just a sidetrack for a second, is I've spent I'm getting billed for about 60 grand plus for student loans. I was in college for 7 years. Now, granted, I still graduated at 23, but for most of us, we understand the classic or familiar way of investing in self. And so with my price points, I really wanted to drive home the reality that, you're fired up now, but when you get what you pay for, understand it's only at your level of commitment. So the best thing I could have ever did was get to a place where I'm building business around the revenue that takes care of the overhead, knowing that when I tried it during COVID, I wasn't as busy as I thought I was. So
Yeah.
like you said, not doing it for money, but also understanding the exercise of conditioning the utterance is the skill set for me that is actually worth more than the money, because I'm getting these reps in, people are growing as I'm growing at getting better, but I'm also making these adjustments by reverse engineering. So I scare people a lot by telling them I'm a time traveler, but there are several dynamics that I live on where I'm like, okay, cool. The person I am 3 years from now wouldn't run business like this. That person is busy. So I need to craft a coaching schedule that makes sense, that prevents burnout, but still provides maximum value. So
That's right.
again, even in the scope of giving free game, I'll just run you through, a 7-day thing for me, because I told my mama last night and it sounded pretty cool.
Yeah.
So on
Okay.
Mondays, I'm leading a training around about 4 o'clock to individuals for like an hour and a half. It's a lead gen for me. On Tuesdays, I have my confidence vault group call at 6 p.m. On Wednesdays, I have my success circle mentorship at 6 p.m. On Thursday, I have my confidence audit training, which is breaking down the My Confidence Score survey at 6:30,
Okay.
where people can actually join and hop in and take the survey. I'm going to help you for free on the confidence
Okay.
audit,
Well, there
right?
you go. Yeah, we'll just tie that into the community as well then.
Yep. And
Okay.
then,
Well, I gotta end it here. Truly,
okay, yeah,
truly,
my bad.
this has been really, really helpful.
Okay,
I'm very impressed with where you're going. I'd love to help you as well. I'll send you an invite if you feel comfortable. Just jump in, and then we'll see if we can make something out of this. And I want to also follow your journey, right? So I'd love to have a follow up with you and see where you end up in 3 to 4 months from now.
awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, thank you. And again, that's myconfidencescore.com, where business owners go to measure their confidence. Also the same name on YouTube and all the other social media handles. Sir, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. And we're going to put all of that information in the description for sure. And then what I like to do is put your logo and stuff throughout the video. So
Okay.
we'll have that going.